Yes, if it is, we love you, Smart. Yeah, things are crazy. How you doing, Dr. V?
Doing fine, doing good.
I did what you asked. I took the last long live stream. I broke it into shorts. I did one short. Did you watch it? No. Did you say anything? No. You said, "Hey, do it." I did it. I asked you today, and what did you see?
Everybody,
No.
go look at the short and give it a
Go
thumbs up.
look at the
We got to
short.
get Mark to do more shorts.
It's just like I had to edit it and do all that, but I did it. So I just
Yeah,
took our live stream and broke it.
that's
Why
great.
not?
Excellent.
Look, I think it's just sad. I just think we are going to have to get started. Hey, Spartacus, I'm going to keep rolling back to one thumbs up. We love it. We love you too. We're going to start with, we're just going to start making this a theme because of the economy. But Donald Trump is Devo. He's Devo. Let's understand. De-evolution, which means we are no longer evolving. We are de-evolving. Are we not men? We are Devo. Okay, that's where
Yeah,
we've
yeah,
gone, and
yeah.
it's funny when you think about it. Because I'll go if you want some of the lyrics out of that song. It's just like right on. But it's like when you look at what's happening. Let's look at the economy. The president is destroying the economy. Did anybody sign on to voting for this guy thinking that he was going to just go and willy-nilly and to just try to destroy the economy? Literally, you listen to them.
It's
Now
just
they're whole.
temporary, Mark. Didn't you hear that? It's just temporary. He's
Yeah,
rebuilding it.
Yeah, for a couple years it's temporary. And you hear these guys on there and they're saying on there and on Fox, but you listen to Carolyn Levitt and all the rest. Oh, it's so insulting that you challenged me. I mean, what are you talking about? Bottom line is simple. Unemployment is going to take a while to go up, but it's going to slowly start going up. Why does it take a while to go up? Because if you're getting money from your employer, I assume in most states you can't get unemployment until that severance is paid or whatever, then you can get your unemployment. And I assume it also takes a while to slowly start ramping up for applications. But we're going to be seeing that as it slowly starts going up. Are you noticing, as I've been saying from the beginning, interest rates really aren't going down? Mortgages went down a little, but the 10-year is kind of just hanging in there because the inflation's going to be everywhere. And not only that, I mean, it's not everything, but it's going to be pretty much everywhere because we're at war. Think about this. Donald Trump came in saying he was going to keep us out of war, right? No war on Donald Trump's part. Yet we're in an economic war. We are in an economic war against people who used to be our friends. We're in an economic war against Canada. We're in an economic war we're about to in Europe. We're in an economic war with Mexico. We're in an economic war with everybody who used to be our friends. We don't have friends. That's the whole ripping apart of the entire economy, of the entire international economy. And what people keep forgetting is that this economy was built around us. America. So as the pie got bigger, we got bigger. It wasn't a matter of paying out a little bit more here and there. The pie got bigger. We had the biggest slice. When the pie gets bigger, the people with the biggest slice get bigger, right? They get to throw the onions and the peppers and everything on top of the pizza. That's how it works. But no, we're ripping the whole thing apart. So we have nothing any longer except we're beating on people. And Trump is just sitting there breaking things up, having a good time. I don't know. It never knew what IDK meant. Do you know what that means, Dr. V?
I don't
It's
know.
something. I've seen it. What?
I don't know.
Is it say dumb or
means I
something?
don't know, not I don't know, but
No, I
I
don't know.
don't
It
know.
means I don't know. Okay, I'm happy you told me because I had no idea. So what's going on is we know Tokev, but what's going on here is that we're sitting down with an economy that's just going to keep on. I thank you, Spartacus. That Joe just told me. We're going to be sitting down here with just this economy. I mean, listen, if I'm wrong, take me down. But we've been saying this for how long, Dr. V? I mean, think about it. We almost had, did he run, did he, the traveling. Now we're hearing, remember we were hearing last week, Delta Airlines and all the others are starting to slow down. Now we're hearing international people don't want to come here. Why do they want to come to America? Why do they want to give America their money? Why do they even care? They don't want to do this. Fantastic. Tariffs, and more tariffs. It's exactly what it is. And that's what they live for here. Tariffs. And think tariffs or war and think we're going to win the war because the way is to beat everybody. But at the same time, do you see Putin rolling over? Do you see Putin sitting there going, I agree to a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine? Do you see Trump doing anything about it? No. He's just going, yeah. Okay, it's easier to beat on Ukraine. It's easier to beat on everybody else. But that's where we stand with this. So as we're doing this and we are de-evolving Devo, as we're doing this, we lose every step, every leg up we had. We had friends who you could go to. Who needs friends, right? Trump doesn't have friends. Trump has transactional people. They like his transactions. Everybody wants to make the move. But think about this. They sit there and they go, it's like it's so obvious, but people want to go right on. They're sitting there, they're going, okay, it's going to be bad, but we can do it. We're America, right? Did we vote for you to do it this way, Trump? First day in, you were supposed to take care of inflation. First day in, you were supposed to take care of the economy. First day in, you were supposed to end the war in Ukraine. First day in, you're going to do it. Now you come in and tell us that you're just going to rip the economy apart because there are plenty of jobs out there for people to get. And we're not losing any muscle or anything. We're just getting handled. It doesn't matter any longer. Right on. Mammy, I love you. Mammy, you're young. And Mammy, bring your friends in, will you? You too, fantastic. We love you. Come on in with them. So what's happening is, as this thing keeps breaking down, people are going to go, come together right now. They all think they're the Beatles, and you're starting to hear this kind of stuff. But how long is that going to last when your friends are losing jobs, when you're afraid to spend money, when you're afraid to go out, when you're afraid to buy things so those stores can't stay open? So people can't go to the restaurants. The restaurants are still pretty hot now because the unemployment and everything really hasn't hit. But it's just going to take month after month. It's just going to be a grind. People don't understand. It's not just a smash. It's a grind as we go on and on. Meanwhile, the American dollar is going down in value. Oh, that's great, right? And let me ask you this, Dr. V. What's going on with medicine in America? I mean, you sit there and Trump is cutting all the money, it sounds to me, to all the major hospital universities. The hospital universities who look into, and I'm going to want you to talk about this, who look into diseases and look into problems and try to catch stuff ahead of time and lead America so we can still lead the world in medicine. Why does everybody come to our country for medicine, right? Dr. V, how are you and the other doctors going to be able to look? You're never perfect. You make mistakes like everybody else. But how are you, Dr. V, and other doctors having all this money and all this stuff cut out from under you going to be able to help take care of the American people and the kids? Tell me, Dr. V, tell me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what we hear and say is theoretical. It's happening to other people. It's not happening to us. But I can tell you personally how it's affecting me. That just this week, I had a chance to review grants for people who want to get money and get funding to help support their career. And the academic community is very scared right now that the funding seems to be drying up. There's concern over the indirect cost. That's clearly having an effect. People are worried about their grants being pulled, and it creates all this uncertainty. And so people are now stopping studies. Study sections are pausing to wait to see what's going to happen. And it's creating absolute chaos in the academic community.
Who cares about the academic community?
Let me get to that.
I want you to get to the point. I want to know how this is affect. I don't care about the academic community.
Well,
everybody's got problems, Dr. V. Oh, sorry. Everybody's got problems in this country right now because we're dealing with Trump devolution. I
Well,
want you to tell
what
me
I'm trying to
how
say
this is
is
going to
what's
negatively affect
happening.
the American people.
This is personal to me, personal to my family. My son-in-law is worried about his job. My grandkids, are they going to have money to go to college? So but what's happening on this local level is happening all over. And what's the consequence of all this? I can't speak to other
Right.
industries,
Get
but
to it.
in the medical industry, if we stop doing research, okay, it's going to affect your health care. Where do you think all the advances come in terms of helping people? And again, to get back to me, I know the financial support I got from NIH, from the government, helped me to devote my life to doing research to find a medicine to treat people that had alcohol problems. I wouldn't have been able to do it without the financial support from the government and other medicines that have been developed, medicines to help with weight loss, medicines to help with cancer treatment, medicines to help
Time
with
out. Let
heart
me ask
disease.
you something, Dr. V.
Uh,
You didn't become a millionaire off that medicine,
I
did
did
you?
not. No,
Right. That medicine is out there for people to use, right?
that's
Because it
correct.
was discovered. There was no patent. Am I correct, Dr.
That's correct.
V? And
Correct.
it's out there. So think about that. We're not talking about some guy who got some cash from the government and became a billionaire. We're talking about a guy who became somebody, took it, learned with the money, and then helped Americans and didn't make money off of it. I mean, he was a professor, but think about that. What a different mentality, isn't it? What a different mentality. Go, Dr. V.
Yeah, and I got to do what I love, which is helping to teach people, helping to treat patients, helping to do research to find more effective treatments for people with addictions. And that's going to be pulled away because
Not yet,
people
Dick. Go
can't
ahead.
support their family. People are not going to be able to devote their life to helping other people
You
because they
live with
don't
that,
have the
Eddie.
resources to do it. it
Right.
it's it's really creating chaos. And the academic community is also concerned with individuals who express their own independent thought, freedom of speech, who are going to be plucked out of classes and deported. So they're worried about that as well. So there's a variety of things that the academic community is really on its heels. Now, I'm trying to, you know me, I always try to understand all sides to
Freedom of speech.
freedom of speech, yes.
And they're getting deported.
Getting deported, yes.
These are
But did you
Americans.
hear
Wait. These are Americans, right?
people have green cards, people who
But
have,
But they're not Americans, right?
well, they're
They're not
have
Americans, right?
student visas are getting
Okay,
deported.
okay. They got green cards, but they're
Yeah,
not Americans, right?
not Americans.
So let me ask you something. I'm not taking a position on whatever position these people take.
Right.
I'm just asking this question.
Go ahead.
You come to this country, you're a guest of this country,
Yeah.
you're not a citizen of this country, you're enjoying all the benefits of this country, then act like a guest. And if you don't like it here, go back where you came from and see if you can act like it there. When you become a citizen, I say right on. But before then, I appreciate what the law says. This is a pit by heart talking, okay,
Okay.
Dr. V?
Yeah.
I'm not asking I'm just, there's issues on the law. I understand all that. I'm just talking something I feel is that these people, a lot of these people come here like they have a right to come to our country and partake of our education and partake of the right to be able to go down and eat at the corner deli and not worry about getting thrown out. And now they're worried, but they're not Americans. And yet they'll go out and protest in the streets and moan and groan, and they're living better here than they could ever have lived anywhere else.
Well,
Now, I'm just
okay.
talking, you know how I feel about
So,
immigration. You know all that, but I'm just
yeah.
saying that kind of, I have a problem a little bit with that. Okay?
Okay. Let me present the other side. So a lot of
Thomas, listen, Thomas D disagrees. I have a big heart, Thomas D. Forget it. Right on, Mike. Thomas D is with us. I like him. He's a good guy, but he's wrong. He
okay.
thinks anybody should be able to come here and say whatever they want to say and get away with it. And I got a
Okay,
problem with that. Yeah, good going.
okay. So, Mark,
But I love
Mark,
Thomas
Mark,
C. I just
Mark,
want you to
Mark.
know. I
Let
love him.
me. It's
Good.
not. Everybody has this idea that people come over from, they fly over to this country and immediately they start protesting. That's
No,
not the situation. It's people come to this country and they've been in this country for years because it takes years to get your citizenship.
I
And
feel.
they study, they get degrees, they write grants, they pay taxes, they get promoted to faculty positions, they get married, they have families, they have kids.
Right on.
And
You
if
know how
they
I feel.
disagree with what the government says, you don't think
No,
they have
but
a
you're.
right to
I'm.
say, I think Trump, what he's doing with the academic institutions is wrong? And then you think Trump can come in and tell the guy, you got to get out of the country?
I
That's
did
not
not
right.
hold it. I
That's
have
not
not
right.
taken that position at all. I said to you before I started that I'm not taking a position on any of the individual situations that are going on.
Hmm.
I said to you, my problem generally, that's all I'm talking about here,
Okay.
okay? My problem generally is you have people coming here to enjoy our great country, which still is,
They
until de-evolution, until we're totally de-evolved. Okay. And I just
Thank you, Thomas.
I don't think they appreciate what they get here. And that's how I feel. And I think they should.
Oh,
I think
now
they
you
should be
sound like
better.
Trump. They don't appreciate what. Wait a second. Time out. Time
Right.
out. They
Right.
come to this country and they do take advantage of our academic institutions,
Right.
but they also give back. They
What?
write grants.
Some
They do
do.
good research. They're good
Okay.
citizens.
Oh, they
They
should.
have the
They
right.
should.
They
Most
have the
of them are
right.
cool.
They should have the
You're,
right to
you're
say when
acting.
they
You're
see
acting.
something wrong to be able to say something about it. Not,
I
oh, you
love
should
you.
be grateful. You sound like Trump. Oh, look at all the aid we
Oh,
gave you.
don't you
Look at all
call
the aid
me
we gave
that.
you. And you come in here and you're not thanking me? You're not
Oh
thanking
yeah,
me for
that's
all the
not what
aid?
I
Get out of
said.
here, Zelensky.
You're trying to take something and throw it all the way over there and change it. Okay? Nobody can question where I stand on immigration. You know that, and I know it's all over
What happened
zillions
to
of
the
my
soup?
videos.
What happened to the
Okay?
soup?
It's all there. It's all there. My problem still is, and I'm not talking most people who are here. You're acting like I'm talking about all of them. I'm talking about those who come here and are really just here as students and stuff. And I don't think they should be out there protesting. I think they should be
Legally
focusing on.
protest? If
I
they
think
break
they
the
should be
law,
focusing on
fine.
what they came here to learn. That's what I think.
If they're legally protesting, what's wrong with that? That's
I
part
didn't
of
say
the
there's
soup.
anything.
That's
You
part of the
once
soup.
again, you're
They give
saying
us a
I'm.
different
Once
perspective.
again, you're acting like I want to throw him in jail. I don't. What
I
I'm
know what you're
saying
I
to
know what you're
you
getting
is,
at. I know what
I
you're getting
think
at.
and you're, but you see,
It's
but that's how most people think, Joe. What I'm telling you is how most people think. So you can feel the way you want, and I say right on, you have every right to. Okay, but the bottom line is, it's like I think it's how most people feel. And if not, I'm just saying that's how I feel. I'm not saying close doors. I'm not saying not let people in. I'm not saying don't let them go to universities. I'm not saying any of that. You know where I stand on all this
but
stuff.
they have to behave
All,
themselves if they do that.
no, not wait. You're using the wrong word. What does behave mean? They're not kids.
They're not allowed
What
to
what it means
protest. If they
is
see something wrong, they're not allowed to protest it. They're not allowed to
correct.
have an opinion.
Cor- No, they have every right to have an opinion, but they don't have a right to be out in the streets shutting down streets in America.
Is that
They can do
legal?
it. They can do it. Look. If it's legal, they can do it, but it isn't. They have to be willing to be arrested. Then, when you're willing to be arrested, you're then put under these different acts, right, that are out there for immigration, and then you're out the door. And that's what Trump's doing. Not only do I not agree with the people being out there, but also I think they're setting themselves up to let Trump set them up and get rid of them. And I think that's what everybody keeps doing here. And it's the easy answer is, Mark, Yeah, you don't believe in freedom of speech. Of course I believe in freedom of speech. But if you're going to sit there and say it, and now suddenly you're in the immigration mall, MAW, the immigration mall where you get ground up and you get out, you could try to get all the judges you want. I don't know what it's going to do for you. I mean, you got judges telling the Trump administration to release money out there. You think they're releasing that cash? There's no way, okay? And even if they did, the whole thing's broken up. So you got the old supply. So you got to see it. You got to see it. So
And
it's like, I think you have to, and he is, you're right, Thomas D. What's going to end up happening is what I always said. We either stand together or we stand alone. And when government starts coming after one group, after they get that group, they go after another group. And after
right,
they get that group, they go after
right.
another group. And after they get that group, they go after another group. All that's how I feel. It's where you're missing it. But you're asking for it if you're going out in the streets and you're not a citizen and you're waving flags that aren't American flags and you're taking a position and you're asking for it. You're going to get arrested, and with this president, you're going to be put in under ICE control and you're out the door. You read that article about that lady, another one in Colombia, who made a beeline to Canada because she knew they were going to get it. That's what's starting to happen. So people are setting themselves up. And they want me to say, oh, Mark, I feel bad for them. I don't. These are people who aren't citizens who are setting themselves up to let Trump do to them what they may. And it's hard enough to take Trump on right now.
Yeah, but we need somebody who's willing to take Trump on. The Democrats certainly won't do
But
it.
they're not
We need
American. They're
somebody
not the
who's
ones
willing to
people are going to
stand
listen
up
to.
and get
I
arrested
love
and
my
whatever it
sauce.
takes. So we need somebody who has
Oil's
some
good, Ginger.
backbone. I won't use the other word, but who has some gumption to stand up to Trump. First, they come after the people who are here legally, but not from this country, and send them back. Then who's the next group they're going to come after?
Nobody
Trump
cares.
always goes after the weakest group first.
Right,
He gets away
right,
with it. Then he goes after the next group and the
right,
next group and the next group.
right,
Well, who's
right.
going to stop him?
But you have to decide where you're going to draw the line and
Exactly.
where the fight is. I think the
Yeah,
fight's
everybody
over the
wants to draw the
economy.
line when it just affects them, but there's not going to be anybody left at that time when they come
I
after
know,
you.
but you're talking about ICE and stuff. I'm talking about an economy, which I think is more important. I'm talking about a foreign policy which is all tied into our economy, which is so much more important than these people. Okay, you see, what Trump does is he's out there, wants you to look at this, and wants you to look at this, and wants you to look at that, and wants you to look at that, and wants you to pick up this and do that. So everybody's going, well, I'm on this, and well, I'm on this, and well, I'm on this. Meanwhile, he's doing what he wants to do, which is destroy the economy, destroy the American century, destroy American alliances, and make America just friends with Putin and his boy, the young un, who he was just talking about loving the other day, and these other guys. And what he does is he throws this stuff out there, and people go, wow, and I got to stop him with this guy, and I got to stop him with this guy. And meanwhile, he's just moving right on
So,
through.
what issue can we stop them with then? So, if you want to stop Trump, what issue are you going to
You
take?
can't
Because
stop
I
him
don't see where
today.
they're stopping them on any issue. All
What
I
you
see
do,
is there's some country, some people who are willing to say no, no to him. I
but
have respect for Canada.
okay, oh
Says
great.
no.
Know what? Know what? Know what? Say
You want
yes.
to put tariffs on Canadians imports? We'll put tariffs on your stuff. They say
They
no.
they did it, and it's going to
Exactly.
start hurting America. So it's not going to. It's not. Look, everybody thinks that you're going to take this change in American culture and just overthrow it in 5 weeks. It doesn't work that way, Joe. It's going to take a while because it's a sea change right now. It's Devo. It's Devo, okay? And that's where we are. So when you get that kind of a sea change, it's not going to come back. You got to kind of let it work its way through. I mean, like, remember I told you, look at the ads on TV. I told you months ago, I look at ads all the time. Months ago, it was going to start being Nashville and this, more of that. You've been seeing it all over the place. It's all a part of that. I'm not a country music fan, but I'm an old rocker. But, hey, you're into your music. But I mean, that's where all that culture is starting to go and stuff. And you can't just go, I stand athwart history and I stop it. You got to get up there. You have to start laying things out so people see as it goes along that maybe you were right. Maybe some people listen and maybe some people say, I've had it, and start going with it. And I think what you got to do is you have to start talking about how we are have destroyed our friendships with the world, which means our economy is going to get crushed because nobody wants to deal with us anymore. They can't trust us. You make a deal with America, it gets broken 2 years later when Trump comes back, or Vance, or one of these guys. And that's what these people seeing. Let's see what Jonathan's saying. Jonathan,
Solution.
what do you mean a solution? The solution is to vote him out. We can't vote him out now. So he's president. So I'm in the mosh pit here, Joe. He's president. There's nothing to cry about. What we're talking about is saying what he is doing is leading to all this. We're not crying. We're saying it's going to happen. And if you think, Jonathan, it isn't going to happen, you come back and let us know in a couple of years when all your friends who are out of a job and aren't making money. Your tariffs aren't simply negotiation tools. Tariffs led to the Depression in the 30s. Now, we're not going to have a depression here because our economy is so much stronger. But the bottom line is that tariffs are taxes on people. You're paying more already. Look at prices. Why were the GM and everybody so worried about tariffs? Because you're going to pay more for cars. That's what it's going to be. Geodude, I don't know, MAGA Formula. Jonathan, what's the solution
they
to
want to know
stop
what's the
a lot of
solution.
what's going on now, Jonathan?
What's the solution?
That's what I was getting into. Solution, right? There is no solution because Trump is president. So what you've got to do is you have to offer the other side and say, this is what's going on here while you're talking to others who may not agree with you. You don't have to sit there and kiss their butt like Gavin Newsom's starting to do and all these guys. You just talk to people. We talked about it during the NFL season.
So if you were in power, what would you do differently? That's the
If I
question.
was in power, what do you mean by power?
Or if the Democrats were in power, if Trump was not in power, what
We
would
wouldn't have been taking it apart like this. I'd have friends. I'd have allies. We'd have friends all across the world. The economy, we'd have to work on it. With nothing wrong getting rid of fraud and waste. Al Gore did. All these other people did. But it doesn't mean you come in and you just start slicing away because the Argentinian president comes in and gives you one of these whatever for Elon Musk to have a good time just slicing through everything. So it's like, well, there is no today solution. You have to oppose. And you oppose by saying, this is wrong, and you keep doing it, and you keep saying it louder, and you keep going to people who are getting hurt, and you say to them, tell me, is it good? Is it bad? Because what you're going to start seeing, even the Journal had that article. They've been pushing it. It's been obvious. Canada knows who to hit. Mexico knows who to hit. They're hitting the MAGAs. They're going to be hitting the Trump supporters. It's all over. It's front page of the Journal today. And they've been talking about this for the longest time. It's going to be the alcohol and all this stuff they're cutting out. And people think it's going to get hurt. Already our farmers are getting killed because remember we talked about this, they invested all this money over the last few years, and Trump says, I'm not meeting. It's a grant, like you were saying, Joe. And they put all that money to meet what kind of to them is a grant, a little different word, and they didn't get it, and it's out the door, and they lost it. It's just all this is happening. So you go to Clyde. Clyde was a good friend of mine. These aren't liberal tears, right turn. We're Americans. I love this country. This is great stuff. It is a chainsaw. And I do have a schnoz pig, but I didn't want to say chainsaw. You want to say it? Say it. I'd rather say the goofy looking president from Argentina, or Margaret, I took care of her. The goofy looking president from Argentina or Elon Musk. I don't have to talk about chainsaws. You know, that's might as well bring out the guns, right? There's Wyatt Earp. Bring out the guns, right? So that's what we do here, my friend. Um, $5 is a lot lower than $8. I've seen $5.99 up to $6.99 in Baltimore. Ninja, sometimes look, Lindell. I only scream when I have my pillows. When I have my pillows, I sell my pillows. It's the ultimate sale. I got everything. Whatever you want, I got it for you. Sorry, sold out. Don't have any more for it. It's so you have this going on, and you go, well, how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to deal with this? And you deal with it by calling it out. And that's what we're doing. And we're asking you to bring your friends on. And we're asking you to come on in. And we're asking you to go to Just American Citizen and look at our channel there and subscribe. And we're asking you to go on Dr. V. Joe Talks and ask you to subscribe there and look and put comments in. That's what we're asking, because we keep moving it and we keep going. Chainsaw, it depends. I think it was a bit offensive the way it was done, Big Daddy. It's all context, my friend. A chainsaw on a tree, okay. A chainsaw to get rid of thousands of people, and you're all proud of it. You don't know who you're getting rid of, including when you were getting rid of air traffic controllers. Yeah, that's bad. So yes, I hope I answered your question. Yeah, New York's just outrageous. What are you gonna do? Here we go. Ninja, pipe down, pops. So, Michael, here we go. Michael, tell me what I'm saying that's wrong, Michael. Please, you see, we love you guys. Lay it out there. Wasn't Jonathan Edwards a singer? Let's talk about the issue and hold. We're talking about the issue, Jonathan. Say where I'm wrong. Say where I'm wrong, okay? Here we go. Ninja, yeah. Yeah, Joe was always a Trump supporter.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You can do it. Michael, smell my breath. It's not that bad. We're there. I brushed my teeth this morning. We're okay. And it's John, prices are going up. It's just different prices and different things depending on when it's hot and when it isn't, because it'll be, there'll be a problem with the supply chain here. Maybe there may be a problem with meat areas and stuff. Who knows? We're already seeing it. I thought I saw that. Okay. I knew the name looked familiar. Michael has a large, greasy forehead. And that makes three of us. So here we are. Michael, at least give us a thumbs up. You too, Jonathan. You don't have to agree with us. We're here. We don't care. We love you guys there. We're happy you're there. Say what you want to say. You should see the fantasy football guys Joe deals with. Woo! I mean, talk about loons. I mean, it's God. So, just go with it. It doesn't matter. And we appreciate you're here. We appreciate how you feel. But this economy is really in bad shape, because you just have to think of it overall. You have no friends. You have no allies. Nobody's going to want to trade with you. They're putting tariffs on top of their tariffs, on top of our tariffs. Steel has gone up substantially across the board. It's all happening. You can't get away from it. It's here. It's just rolling. Rolling.
I think people haven't felt the full effects yet. So you can see things like leading indicators, like the stock market's down, people's confidence in the economy is down, but we haven't really seen the full effects of unemployment. You haven't seen the full effects of inflation yet.
We are the leading indicators, Joe, you and me. We've been saying this since Trump has been elected and went full force on tariffs.
Yeah, you can
I'm
see
sorry.
what's going to happen. It's pretty, you can see what's going to happen. That's why I bought gold a couple weeks ago, and that was a good move.
There he goes. Tell you all this.
I'm trying to give you some ideas about how to deal with all this.
No, we don't give ideas on this show. We don't do that kind of stuff. Okay,
he just likes people while they come to tune in.
I hear you. Dwight, I don't think you have been looking at any of this stuff on Just an American Citizen, because that statement is totally false. Sausage, I'm not into sausage, Mike. Joe loves sausage. Dwight, I just don't understand. And Jeremiah's there too. The sausage, whatever. I don't like sausage. That's not my kind of game. But here we are. We're talking to you. We love talking with you. But come on, Dwight, come up with something that's real. No. Dwight, no. How you like that for a quick answer? No. No, we just tell you what we think, because we're into this. Pound Town, PA, because we're into it, okay? We love it, Dwight. We love America. That's why my my channel is called Just American Citizen. Been around for like 11 years. We don't care. You believe what you believe as long as you love America and you want to believe for America, make it happen. But no, we don't make that kind of stuff. Listen, Pig Daddy, don't listen to him. He's just talking, Pig Daddy. Don't listen about that. Ninja, Trump is a Russian asset, but he's more than a Russian asset. He isn't just a Russian asset. He doesn't believe in our checks and balances. I don't believe he really believes in the Constitution, except that it's there for him to make money. And that's what I think, okay? And if by chance America gets something beneficial out of what Trump's doing, it's only because he's trying to make money. And that's all part of where we're talking about. It's just more than a Russian asset. Think about all the money he's going to make on this economy. He's got all these rich guys. It's no different than Putin with his oligarchs, right? It's going to be very much like, look at these parallels, okay? You want to talk Ninja? I'm with you. I'm with you. So's Joe. Look at these parallels. So the rich guys are going to be hanging there, and as we're tearing the economy apart, and we have the Melania coin, and we have the Trump coin, and we have Trump making all this money, and now all these big guys are going to be making money. Thank you. We have it to you, Jonathan. Then we have all that money that's going to be going out there, and it's the rich guys in 2-3 years are going to be there with the cash, just picking it up. They did it in 2009. I tell you, I've told you all about this when we had a total destruction of the housing. Remember, government was stuck with all these properties. Who came in with the money? The big boys. They took it. Government guaranteed the loans. They guaranteed everything. They guaranteed the syndications. The big boys made big money. Now they're making zillions more. That's how the game is played, guys. You got to look at it and understand. That's how they did it in Russia. They chopped everything up and they said, I declare fealty to Putin. They became rich. It was just there. It's just that. Ninja, yeah, you're right, Ninja. Trump's a grifter. We've said that 100 times. He's not a Nazi. I don't like when people use that word. I don't think he's any of that. I think he's a grifter, wants to put cash in his pocket, and he's an old man. Everybody forgets that. He's 78. He's sitting there playing with the pinball machine. He's just like, hey, he's back there. God, I don't know what he's doing. Calling this guy. Let's make a deal. Calling this guy. And you know where the money's going to go. You know who's going to make all the money. Of course it is. Dwight, I don't know. Dwight, why do you call people names all the time? Tell us what he's doing that you think is so great, unless it's Trump you're calling a clown. Quantum, who cares if they're professional trolls? Let them troll. We call them out because what we find out is that we have good people who follow. We talk, we deal with it, and they come on in. I'm with you, Stinky Pete. I'm with you, Ninja. I'm with you. You're right. They don't want to do it. They're afraid of it. Okay, it's just crazy. The dumbass Quantum. Are we getting into quantum computers now? I don't know about that. A refreshing margin error to typical BS. Well, there's no margin of error here. That's right. I'm not putting my money in my, who's not putting cash in his pocket? He'll be putting more money in our pockets. John, come on. That's not Trump. I'm trying to put money in your pocket, John, by telling you you're going to be losing so much of it with Trump. Unless you're a multi-billionaire and you can sit there and give him $1 million and take care of him. So he calls you up and says, hey, John Blatz, I got you. I got a deal for you. Give me a call. I like John. He's always coming in, Joe. I like John. He's just a good guy. So it's like, hey, Stinky, in many ways, it is cult-like. It's kind of cult-like. Pig Daddy grifted. Grifted is those meme coins. What are you talking about? The Melania coin? That's not a grift. Come on. I love your real odds and Evans. Bring your friends in. Come on, bring them in. We need more.
I like the comments. Comments are right on target.
Oh, wow. Aren't they these? I'm like in the mosh pit, Joe. I'm going crazy here. Middle class poor people will be in the hole. The rich will win. Fantastic. Right on. Right, Joe? You hit that head on there. Oh, rich will get richer, of course. That's how the game works. But look, understand something. Thank you. Well, thank you, Fantastic. We're happy you're here, Realize. I don't mind people make money. Understand, Joe and I think if these guys can make money, Right on. Capitalism is great, but not at the expense of others when you're beating them down and you're taking advantage of them. Competition's one thing, but if you're going to destroy the economy that people are used to making money and doing things, and then you're going to come in and make deals, I'll get your house cheap, I can do this, I can do that. You see what's going on TV now? I want you to see something. Thank you, Pig Daddy. I don't know if you're talking to me, but I love you. It's entire population of Texas. We were already great. And so Texas was already pretty cool too. It doesn't need Trump to make it that way. Okay. It's really that simple. But I'm just looking at this going, I just love these people. They're all tremendous. But at the same time, what's going to happen? It's really going to happen. It's always a cycle. So as things break up and things get worse, assume you're going to be sitting back and you're going to be hearing about the billionaires making more and more money. I mean, think about it. Didn't they put Teslas on the White House lawn, Joe? Didn't they put Elon Musk with the president of India, Modi? And now I understand he's got 2 deals going on over in India. Do
Sure.
you have a deal? Do you have a deal with Modi?
I do not.
No, so you haven't been able to get any grants from Modi, but maybe President Trump can do it if you help him with his ICE roundups, right? Maybe we'll do it that way. Okay, he's building a corporate town, and he'll build wherever he can get something. The wealth of nations, we had to. Adam Smith is old, baby. We had to. That's you're talking to. The boomers had to read that, okay?
Yeah.
It's really all just says. It's just like he is a spoiled kid, but he doesn't care because when you're that rich, you can be as spoiled as you want to be. He just gave another 100 million to Trump. 100 million, okay? Welcome, guys. Welcome, Pig Daddy. So much it is gobble maverick, Pig Daddy. Bring your friends in. We love your friends. Bring them in. Things have been changing recently a lot. Bring them in, whether they like us or not, please. Tell them, come on, just an American citizen, all the old stuff there. And we'll all take shorts of this every week now. And I'm going to throw some shorts in. And Joe Dr. V. Joe Talks, the addiction specialist in the world. It's just, hey, where are we not having facts here, guys? Let's talk. Let me hit something else because we were hitting all this. How about the measles? They're still having measles issues. And JFK Jr., he's sitting there going, hey, well, maybe you take a shot.
The facts, Mark. What are the facts?
Castor oil. Now, even I know that's given because in those areas there's no vitamin A and they gave him castor oil. And who knows how much vitamin A is in that castor oil? I don't know. Aurelius, that's kind of the same. But what you try to do is get into the game rules and see if you can make some money. And that's why we talk about the game so people can kind of see it ahead of time and make the move earlier. Okay? Hey, we're all level-headed, Pig Daddy. Who cares here? And Mike is here. Look, I told you I sold all my pillows. They're gone. I don't have one to hug anymore. I love hugging my pillows. Mike. But as we go along, that's just cool. But think about it. Measles are bad. And let me tell you, this is something else. Joe was talking about how things just take a while to go. We've been talking about that. It's going to be the same with national security. He has gotten rid of all these CIA people. He's gotten rid of all these FBI people. Who knows who else he's gotten rid of? All that knowledge, everything else. We're going to get hit one day. We're going to get hit hard. For all we know, the Chinese or the Russians have loaded stuff on our computers. Our government, they already did, probably, but even more because we take down our cyber group, like that cyber defense or that cyber offense. Yep, that's what it is. Really a problem. Jay Bird, who's the loser? We have no losers. Trump must be, he has all that weight behind him, John. When you have that weight behind you, you can really drive it. And anyway, the question is, does it stay straight or does it go off? I was a caddy. I wasn't much of a golfer, but I knew guys like Trump, and he probably didn't even give a good tip. So cheap. So you get, dig on Trump's. Well, what I'm saying now, look, you're getting upset because he said something about Trump's golf swing. I mean, geez. Who cares?
He
Who cares?
uses
It doesn't matter. Maverick, you're right. What? What?
Probably uses
What's
a
your?
Texas wedge around it. He kicks the ball instead of uses his wedge.
Brett
Texas
picks it up and
wedge.
drops it. He's the only guy who gives himself trophies after every time he beats himself. So he beats
So
himself, and I'm the winner, so he gives it. Excuse me. So Michelle, we agree, but we don't cuss here. Try to keep it on. We are happy together. The Turtles, they were good. They turned into Flo and Eddie. We were so happy together. It's just fun stuff. A1, we love you. Jeez, man, we're getting a lot of new people in here, Dr. V. I love them. Come on in, bring your friends. But what are we going to do if we're sitting? And let's talk also about the destruction of the rule of law. I mean, we're hitting this stuff every week, but it's so important. As we came in, we talked about how when he took out Mayor Adams in New York and they said, hey, nah, it's just love. It isn't delusion, CG. We just said, hey, I got something to offer you for ICE and maybe you'll let me go, but that wasn't a deal. Okay. So they did the deal and they do their thing. Then all of a sudden, Trump starts saying to law firms, you can't go into federal buildings. You can't do federal work. Did that to two major firms. Just did another one. Spartacus, please no cussing, Spartacus, please no cussing. So they thank you, Maverick. So please no cussing, Spartacus, please.
go
And
ahead.
thank you,
Go ahead.
William. We love you.
Yes.
So they sit down there. Where was I, Dr. V? Spartacus knocked me off there with the cussing. I was so
The law
stunned.
firms that lost
Oh, right, the
their
law firm. So
security.
now
Yeah.
Trump has done it again. Think about what's going on. Whether or not you guys think that the law firms it's not that important because they're so big. What if you wanted to hire this law firm? You can't now because if it has anything to do with the government or has anything to do with anything pretty much, and that's most things have something to do with the government because people can't even go into the federal government buildings. Trump is now taking away your right to representation. Donald Trump has said, you can't hire these people, you can't hire these people, and you can't hire these people. Think about that, guys. Think about that, guys. It's like crazy. It can't be put back together, Michelle, and that's the problem. So we are going to all have to take these shells of Humpty Dumpty, and make it a new Humpty Dumpty. It's more like a surrealistic pillow, and the white knight is talking backwards, and the red queen says off with her head. Doesn't that sound a little bit like right in there? Jeremiah. And it's entirely based. No, Jeremiah, I love what you're saying, but wait a second. Trump took the position that he got all the hostages out when he wasn't president. Right? So he took the credit. He said Biden gets no credit, even though Biden was president. You're saying he did all the scribbles, right, Jeremiah? Hang with me, okay? You're saying he had all the scribbles there, but they gave him no credit for that. That was all Trump, even though he wasn't president. Now that Trump's president and has come in talking tariffs, smashed our friends, destroyed our alliances, you want him to say, oh, it's Biden's fault. No. You want the credit, you take the credit. You got the blame, you got the blame. Sorry,
Who would have
Jeremiah.
predicted? Who would have predicted that Trump would take the credit for all the good
You're
stuff
right, Bill.
and blame
Right.
Biden for all the bad stuff?
What a
Who,
stunner.
who would have predicted that?
I never would have predicted that. Never, ever. But the problem is, Jeremiah, Trump came in and started talking big and started getting rid of people and doing all this stuff. Okay. CG, I don't know what's going on in Houston. I can't speak to Houston. They must be worried there. Okay. I don't know. I don't live in Houston. I just know that we're having such a shakeup right now. Trump derangement syndrome, Gabriel. Look, Trump is deranged. I don't know why people always want to talk about Trump being deranged. Don't you? We always talk about that, don't we, Joe? People go in there, Trump derangement syndrome. Why do you call Trump deranged? We don't call Trump deranged. You call Trump deranged, Joe? No, either do I. Don't call Trump deranged. Please talking about your drunk derangement. Oh, I can't even say it. Your Trump derangement syndrome is like, it's crazy. Okay? Trump always does all that, Bill, but he didn't get the smart guys this time. He's trimming the fat. It's more than fat.
It's
It's
getting
more
that
than fat.
muscle,
How
I'm
about when he
afraid.
got rid of the traffic controllers? Was that fat? He had to bring them back. How about when he got rid of the guys overseeing the nuclear arms and stuff? Was that fat? Yeah, fat. Yeah, fat. Come on. Come
Breaking the
on.
backbone, not trimming the fat.
It's trimming it's just smashing everything so there's nothing left. That's the idea, guys. Remember this. Remember, he wants to smash everything so that he can control it and own it, he and his friends, as much as possible. If you're watching, his son is involved in stuff going on that has to do with politics and investments, Joe. His other son, it's all this Trump organization stuff. They're making money on all of this, and they build it and build it, and their friends are coming in, giving them all $1 million to do it. That's really where we are. Look, he isn't an executive. He's the president. He was voted on, Jeremiah, and it's not his job to decide because he hasn't made any decisions. He just said get rid of everybody. And there's a lot of stuff that he doesn't have the right to do. And a lot of the courts are saying it. We're going to see as the Supreme Court gets involved. Until then, hey, Jonathan, what's interesting with that is I went to Europe many years ago, and I was like stunned that the men's and women's bathroom were the same. Guys were coming out of the bathroom, and women were coming out of the bathroom. And I was like, whoa. But that's how they did it in Europe. Nobody was talking about transsexuals or anything like that then. Anything trans. It was men and women went into the same bathroom. What am I missing? Okay. Boing. Really a bad issue. Okay. Here we go. Honestly, I never went with Biden because I never thought he was in charge. Jeremiah, I think you're wrong. He put the right guys in. He knew what he was doing. He did a lot of good stuff. Okay, they're never. He's not a geriatric pen. He's really gotten old, right? But Big Daddy, I'm just responding to the question of men and women going in. It's not big anything heavy. It's a culture issue. It didn't matter. Okay, And children, it's the same. You walk in, it's, I don't know. I can't get worked up about that. I understand athletics, Dr. V, in that. The bathroom, I just don't have an issue with. That's just me. Okay. You see, I'm not Jeremiah Trump. You see, but I'm not playing into anything. I'm just saying he does what he says he does. But the proof is, Jeremiah, is that he came in and he started talking tariffs the minute he came in and just started getting people prices. Look at our, I'm like losing it. Look at our first live streams right after the election, right, Dr. V? I said, we're already seeing prices go up. I was talking about examples like with a couple live streams in where we were getting stuff on sale and it was still on sale a week later, but it was higher on sale. That's the kind of stuff that's going on. It is a big giant play, and we are all watching. And on the outside, real odds and evidence is all the money that's going to be jumping in to own everything that they're going to take. That's exactly what it is, Gabriel. I'm happy you like him. Schumer, let me tell you, Michelle, I think he did the right thing. And I'll tell you why. Everybody wants to fight all the time. And sometimes you have to fight. You hear us fight, and we really go after Trump. We don't think twice. Problem is, if they had shut down the government, Trump would have run the government. Don't think it wouldn't have happened. He would have run the government. And at that point, Michelle, there is no way the Republican Party would have come back in to take over. Remember, they own the House, they own the Senate. They would have let Trump run everything. Trump would have just destroyed everything, and we never would have been able to get back. He could have started. Who knows what he would have done with judges? Who knows what he would have done with flowers, with toilets? Who knows what he's Trump? He would have done all this stuff, and people would have been sitting there going, "Man, I keep getting this jive stuff. Check this out." I know it's all jive. So so when you look at that, you go, what do you think, Dr. B?
Yeah,
I did. So
here's the
I
thing.
said we had to stop it.
I understand
We
where
had to
Schumer
sign
is
on.
coming from. That
Right.
he thought things would be worse. On the other
Right.
hand, sometimes you have to make a gesture. Sometimes you have to say enough is enough. And the
Mhm.
Democratic Party doesn't have very many levers that they can pull. This was one of the levers they could pull. I mean, if you remember your history, we weren't around then, but after Pearl Harbor, United States was back on its heels. They were worried about Japan coming over and attacking our western coast. And so what did they do? They
Trump for
had something
president.
called the Doolittle raid, in which they had
Right.
these fighter bombers
Right.
bomb Japan,
And
and
and and
it was a
crash
gesture. They weren't going
and
to
crash.
war from it, but it showed that we weren't going to just take it anymore. We were going to fight back, and that did an awful lot for the morale for the country to keep it going. The Doolittle raid, named after the guy who flew the mission, but it did a lot. It wasn't Doolittle. It did do a lot to help the country feel like we're going to fight back. We're not going to take it anymore. And right now, the Democratic Party is still trying to figure out how to respond to Trump. But a lot of what they're doing is just uh, fruitless effort, and it makes other Democrats feel like we don't really have someone to support us, to
Well,
fight for us. And one of the things
well,
Trump
wait a
did
second, wait a
very
second.
well.
I don't understand though. I'm trying to understand.
Go ahead.
Why did you want to fight for a chance to let Trump have total control? I don't
I'll tell you
understand
why. I'll tell you
because
why.
you couldn't
I'm
get it
playing the
back.
long. I'm going to play the long game here. I'm going to tell you why.
You play the
He's
long game.
already screwing things up. If he has total control, let him completely screw things up until everyone says enough of this, that we're not going to take this anymore. And then you're going to see change. But right now, he's doing it in such a way that the Democratic Party looks like a bunch of wimps, and it's not going to attract voters in the midterms. Someone has to stand up to the guy and say, enough. We're not going to take this anymore.
Okay, but you
To lose a
decided
little
time to
who
do it.
analogy here.
Let me tell you, Doolittle's different. Remember, all the pilots died. I think all the pilots died because they didn't have enough gas to get back. So they
No.
knew it was. They knew a second. They knew it was a suicide mission. So we want to talk history. We understand history and we're with it. You don't just do a suicide mission. They needed to do it at that moment because Japan had been hitting us and we needed it. This is not Japan and America. This and in World War II. This is a situation where you are willing, not you, those who were willing to let this go through were willing to give Trump absolute control of the government. And to give Trump absolute control of the government, I'm going to go back to something
Go
I've been
ahead.
saying to you, Dr. V, and
Yeah.
I've been saying for the longest time, and you keep telling me I'm crazy, but you agree. Everybody rules on emotion now. Remember, I keep saying that to you.
Right.
Emotion runs everything. So I want to have a fight. I want to do this. I want to do that. You got to be smart. There's no election tomorrow. The next election is Virginia. We'll see what happens in Virginia. You got April primaries, I think, and then you have the big governor election and the entire House and Senate or whatever, House of Commons, whatever it is in Virginia. They got that. We'll have more of an. That's our first election. There's no election now. There's no leader of the Democratic Party. There's no leader of any party except Trump. Okay, so to go to war with somebody who's got everything, you can't win today. But what
So
you
wait a
can
second.
do is you
So
start putting out ideas and you get people to start thinking and you show them why they're wrong and you show the Trump supporters why those who really weren't MAGAs but voted for him because they wanted to shake things up, because they wanted to do all this, show them maybe you made a mistake without telling them that and say, this is why we can't do this again. And this is why it has to be changed. Because look, if Trump had taken over, he could have yanked all FCC licenses, Joe. They did it in Hungary. He could have, he wants to yank, he said he wanted to yank CBS's license. What if he did that? What would you say then? Who's in the street? Nobody would have cared. You can't turn
yeah,
over.
but that's
I'm
why we
just
have a
telling you,
judiciary system to help hold them in check.
no, he doesn't care about the judiciary. They're passing laws. I'm sorry. They're making orders like to reduce, send money, and they're not sending the money. It's you see, as soon as you give this guy de facto control, it's
How does he
over
not have de facto control now?
because the budget's been written. It's through September. There's
He's
no
not even
tax.
going by the budget, though.
It,
That's not
there,
had. That doesn't even have any control over him.
No. That's been taken care of through next September because, look, a budget's always you're paying for what you did before, Joe. It ain't what you're paying for tomorrow. It's what you're paying for yesterday. So they got that all taken care of. That's what they had to take care of. Now they're doing extra money for defense and stuff. You weren't going to stop them. But the problem is, if you're telling Trump, be what you want to be, and Trump says, I don't like, what was that? I don't like these judges. I want them off the bench. Then what are you going to do? If Trump says, military, I want you into the street because what these people are doing are wrong. And I can do it because there's no government and I can do what I want to do. People aren't thinking.
He's already doing
You
that.
can't
I
allow the
can
guy
tell
to
you
do that.
from personal experience, the people who've been awarded grants, they're being taken away. So
Okay.
it's already happening. So
Okay.
let him do it, and then see if we have a country or not.
You
Do
did, yeah, that's
people want
great.
to
Oh,
have
that's great.
a king?
Take
Do
a
people want to have
chance.
a king? But somebody has to stand up. The
Not
only way to
now.
stop this guy is by showing strength.
Not now. You
Not now.
decide.
Okay. All
You
right.
build up your strength. You
Yeah,
build
I
up
see the
your
Democrats building up
arguments.
their strength. Their
It takes
popularity is the lowest it's ever been.
right. It takes it's nothing. It's
They're
popular.
looking
It
like
takes
wimps. They're looking like wimps.
oh, Joe, let me tell you
They
something.
are. They're
I
not
love
looking
you.
like
Big
brilliant
deal.
strategists. They're
There
looking
is
like they're willing to take it.
they are taking it because they have to take it.
It's not even
What are you
rope a dope. It's
saying?
just dope. There's no
What?
strategy behind it. There's no
Yeah, I'll tell you the
strategy.
strategy. What's the strategy you guys have behind letting Trump take control of the government? There's the strategy. You talk about strategy. You say, okay, that's fine. Let him take control of the government and we'll take it back. We'll never get it back, Joe. You can't let a
The
demagogue
only way
get
we're going to get
control
it
of the
back,
government.
the, the only way we're going to get it
We
back
are
is
going to
if the
fight
people
amongst
who
our
voted
William.
for Trump realize that this is not what they really want.
William, that's what I'm talking about. That's why we talk about this. William, we fight amongst ourselves because you got to. It's not fighting, it's disagreeing. There's nothing wrong with that. Fear is being used to oppress. And it's straight. Thank you, Real Odds. Bring some of your friends in. But we are that. It's not, we see the forest for the trees. That's what we're talking about, Jeremiah. Joe and I may not agree on certain things, but it's not, we all agree on what we think's going on with Trump and what we think's going on with the takeover of the country and how he's moving. We just disagree on what the strategy is to try to stop it. That's the disagreement Joe and I have. And that's what friends do. And that's what allies do. And that's how you do it, because when you disagree and you go at it, when I had cases, you'd have to listen to the other side. You have to talk to people, be prepared to go in. You hear the other side, you make it happen. Michelle, I love you. I love you, Michelle, more than I love Joe. He is local. Show me how he's reducing inflation. Jeremiah, all I see is Trump. George Washington 2.0 local. George Washington's the father of our country local. I'm sorry.
Benedict Arnold 2.0, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We called him that. I'm sorry, 2.0, George Washington. There is only one George Washington, my friend, and nobody comes close. Nobody comes close. I agree. Fear is a dictator. So I like Mark's name. Mark, right on. Big Daddy, we like you. Right? We agree. He hasn't fixed it, local. When he fixes inflation, let me know. Until then, it's just
I'm
going
an
up.
empirical guy. Just can we agree on some parameter that measures inflation and see where we are in a
Debbie
month or
said
2
hi to
months?
you. Debbie said hi to you,
Oh,
Dr.
Debbie's
Z.
back. Hi, Debbie.
Debbie!
Oh, hi, Debbie. Missed you.
Go ahead, Joe.
Makes
I
my
had to point
day.
that out to you.
Makes
Go
my
ahead.
day.
That's it. But that's the reality. It is. Why does he want Canada and Greenland? Because he wants to be a schmo. Thank you. We miss you too, Debbie. Jordan, because he just wants to make trouble. Because he's going, Luke, we've been pumping oil out. Nothing stopped us to pump oil. We've been pumping oil out. Okay? Come on. Come on, local. I wouldn't be doing what's going on here. Massey of their prayer when he preaches, the only person. Let me tell you, Massey actually backs up what he says, Congressman Massey. I don't agree with him, but he voted against Trump and those guys and said, you just let these numbers get higher. I give Thomas Massey credit. I say, yeah, I like hearing him. He's kind of funny. But he's not really bad. Mike, I'm happy you're back. It's some local. We understand inflation. We know that when you add money on top of what something costs, it's called inflation. That's what tariffs are. It's really kind of sees. Well, I don't know about that. So I just had my first skin flu. Okay, Massey's against APAC. I don't know what I'm just saying. When it comes to the economy, he's very clear on where he stands. Al Green, you got to make sure it gets there before he falls over. Maverick, you're all right. Local things, we know tariffs. Michael, right on. Look, it is the definition. Sorry. Maybe I'll vote blue for kicks next time. Vote for the right guy, okay? We didn't stop pumping oil. The Dakota pipeline had nothing to do with it. That was just going up to Canada. Canada's pumping it down to us. Luke, look at the numbers. Under Biden, we were breaking records on the amount of oil and gas blowing out. It was flying. Check it out, Luke. I'm sorry. That's the real. It's time. What kind of flags are they? Is that Canadian? We love the
Canadian, yeah.
Canadians. Let me
Go
tell you what people
Canada.
forget about Canada, Dr. V. We talked about this before. When Iran took the hostages, the American embassy, it was Canada who snuck some Americans out. People forget that. Our friends, when we had friends, our
So
friends.
in 9/11, who supported us? Who came to our aid? When we were
Canada's always
attacked as a
been for us.
country, who
Right.
supported us?
Of
Russia?
course, Canada. Of
Was
course.
it Russia?
Yeah, Russia.
No, North
Local
Korea? Did
things
they
are not
support us?
slightly they're not when it's 50%, 25% in slightly inflationary. It's called major inflation. Look at the steel. Look at how much cars are going to cost. They're already dying. Toyota said they're going to eat the difference for the first few months, and they know that difference is going to be major. But they got a lot of money to do it. I'm sorry, it's out there. And not only that, remember, economies move based on what they think is going to happen, not when it happens, unless it's a black swan and it just happens. So you're preparing, they're getting ready, they're moving forward. So if they think prices are going to go up, they raise them now, and they buy it cheaper now, and they raise it now so they can make their money and they're ready to go. That's how the thing works. Okay, he did. That's all he does is pay to go golfing. Mexico always helped us, Aurelius. Okay, no, it didn't, Jeremiah. Sorry. No, it didn't. Recession's here. It's time. We've been saying it's going to be here. It's not here yet. We've been saying stagflation or recession, right, Dr. V? How long we've been saying that?
Moving up unemployment
I'd
and
love to have
increased
ladies
inflation.
on here. Right.
The
Start
misery
listening
index.
names. Jonathan, the problem with that is that it almost becomes parliamentary, and parliamentary systems don't work. You have 55 governments in 2 years. Will 1 ounce gold cross 3 grand? It already
Yes.
did, but it's back down. It
That'll
already
go
did.
back up. That'll go back
Say
up.
not over 3,000 now, as I didn't look. And then you have crypto, which was over whatever 100,000 and came back down. Crypto's the other one's killing it, man. It's just crazy. The Spade. Please take a basic economics class. Watch a YouTube video about tariffs. Yeah, watch one. I'll give you one. It's called The Depression. Jeremiah, read The Depression. The Depression, the 30s, the Depression.
So
Kate Spade, you're right.
Mark, I want to give the tariff people a fair shot, a fair
Okay.
understanding. Okay. So the idea, I
Right
believe,
on, Mark.
if there's some logic behind all
Debbie,
this,
we love you either way.
the idea is that America lost a lot of manufacturing jobs because goods were too expensive to make in this country because we pay decent wages for our workers, and other countries have much cheaper wages. So companies took businesses and put them in other countries. And the idea is by having a tariff, it creates a more even playing field. That the goods from other countries are going to cost as much as American goods. American goods are expensive not because of that the product is bad or whatever. It's because the wages are so much higher in the United States. So this should create an even playing field. So companies will not take their factories and put them in China or India or those countries. So that's the idea behind the tariffs is to help manufacturing jobs in the United States. So what's wrong with that idea?
I think it's great if they had new factories tomorrow. I think it'd be great if we were able to hire all these new people and they were already trained and ready to take it all on and do it in the next week. I think it would be great. Look, this is going to what I'm saying, Dr. V. It's going to take a few years. And when this
So
happens, there's
isn't
going to
it
be
good?
so much damage that the guys who got all the money, I'm telling you, it's what they did with housing when they took over all the REOs, the real estate. I lived through it. I saw it. We all lived through it. They took it over. They own housing. It's no different here. They're sitting back. They're waiting. They're going to break things up, destroy stuff that's here. And the guys with the money in 2 years, when suddenly factories are starting, or maybe, who knows, if they do it,
You know
and
what?
then we got a problem.
If you're addicted to something, sometimes you have to go through a detox first, which is painful. But then you
What are you
get off of
addicted
it.
to? What are you addicted to?
So Trump's idea is it's going to be a little bit painful in the
What are
beginning,
you
but
addicted
ultimately
to?
will bring in the incentive to have more factories in the United States.
Oh,
That's
great.
the idea.
But I say that's great if they were here tomorrow. That'd be great if they were here next year. When Trump's first term, there were all these factories, I think, promised in Cleveland and didn't happen. these guys, they all come in and say, I'm going to put 150 million in, and they disappear. Every business changes. Nobody knows what they're going to do in 2 or 3 years. The USSR always had, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, guys, always had 5-year plans. China always had 5-year plans. It doesn't work that way. The problem is, until then, who's taking care of unemployment? Who's helping people with with housing? Who's helping people with health? Who's helping the medical society, the medical system help take care of people? Who's
Well,
helping
I
all this?
mean,
It's
that
not
is a
going to
good point.
happen.
If you're going to go through a
Thank you, Todd.
detox, it's good to have comfort meds to help you get through the process. If you're going
And
to
they're none.
change everything by trying to create more incentive to build factories, people are going to hurt during that transition period. You should have good safety nets to help those people. And
And
you're right.
you should. Well, what's the safety net, Debbie? That's the point. Everybody knew that because it was cheaper. What's the safety net? That's why they got on Hillary Clinton when she said something about all the West Virginia. Remember all the West Virginia people losing their
Right. I
jobs?
know. I know. I know.
There's never a safety net. There never is for the people. That's what people don't understand when you're watching us. We care about the people of America, American citizens. Okay? There is no safety net. So in 2 or 3 years, if you may not have that new job, it may not be a good job. You may be too old. You may not know how to do it. The kids will get it, which is great. But then there'll be more Social Security people are going to have to pay. There's going to be more Medicare. There's going to be more of this. Going to be more of that. I mean, that's the problem. You have this whole dead period in here where it's just going to smash everything. And then when it comes in, Billy Squash, we're not into that kind of stuff. When it comes in, I agree, Debbie. When it comes in, are we in another housing bubble? Aurelius? I don't know what we can call what we have in housing right now. I don't know if it's a bubble. I'm not sure what it is, but it is not good. Okay? It is not good. It's not a matter of hate, Jeremiah. We don't hate anybody. We love you. We love our friends. We love you all. What are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not against everything that Trump administration does. I mean, were you in favor of going after the Houthis? Don't you think that was a good
Hey,
move?
thank you for raising it. You know where I stand on that, baby. How
Right?
many videos did I
I
have
know, I
saying
know.
smash the Houthis? Thank you, Joe. Mwah, mwah, mwah. For the
And
last few
we're
years,
100% in favor of that.
I
Good
was
move.
so mad
Good
at
move,
Biden.
President Trump.
I agree, but like I said, a broken clock is right twice a day. So, but I'm happy with that because I kept saying about Biden, he was doing nothing. He was piddle paddling. You're going to hit somebody, you hit them. Otherwise, I was afraid of the Spanish Armada. Remember, and we would get hit because we weren't hitting them hard enough. So I'm very happy that President Trump did this, and he should keep smashing them and take down those mountains and drop those 2,000-pound bombs on them and just smash them. And you know the Saudis love it, so then they'll put more gas, more oil out there to help lower the prices. So maybe we'll see. So that's kind of what it is. Jason, unfunded liabilities it's just lots of them, unfortunately. Jordan, the problem is real estate doesn't just come down. Just doesn't come down. Based on loopholes, they're sending travel gifts home to USA. It wasn't that stoic. We have look at what happened here in North America. We have between Mexico and Canada and America, we had this big trading group here. We were able to keep prices down, keep a lot of people in business. I mean, we're talking neighbors. That's great stuff. That's great stuff. It's not a matter of travel gifts. That's great. It really made real people. No, Sparkus, we love Debbie. Leave her alone. So you're gonna have to homestead. Jeremiah, that's not us hiring these people. These are other countries. You have to make some decisions. And then, of course, we can't make everything. How do you make everything? You can't make everything. There aren't enough people. There's always little things, big things. You just can't do it all. It's not going to happen. It's local things. What Joe was saying about the safety nets is what happens to these people when they fall through. It's not going to not happen. People are going to have to do it. You're right. It's USMCA. It's not only signed by Trump, Mark. He said it was the greatest trade deal of all time, and now he's breaking it. I mean, how can people make deals with us? Of course, everything costs more. We had everything. That's not true, local. That's not true. How can we make batteries? Tell me how we can make a battery. Tell me right now how we can make a battery. You can't. We don't have all the stuff. You have to get mines and stuff. We don't
You know
have it.
who has the
You
stuff for
can't
the
do it.
batteries?
What?
You know who has the minerals for the batteries? Ukraine.
Greenland.
Ukraine
Greenland.
and
Ukraine's
Greenland.
got them too, but
Yeah.
Russia's got them too. A lot of people's got them. And let me tell you, you know how I feel about batteries. I thought years ago we should try to find a new way to do batteries because we couldn't, talked about battery revolution. That's what was so important. Jonathan, we love you. Thank you. I'm happy you're following. You guys are great. You have a blessed day. We see Wednesday, Jonathan. We're on Wednesday at 5. Never being dishonest and disingenuous. Nice words, but DIS doesn't make a word that great. Aluminum rare earth. What's wrong with the kids? Man, it's such moving fast. Yeah, but just because you have lithium doesn't mean you can mine it. It's all sitting there. You got to get it up, man. It just ain't there. Hey, Michelle, you're right on. And not only that, when all that Medicaid gets handled, these are people who voted for Trump. These are people who voted for Trump. They love Trump, okay? Batteries, though, you guys don't know. Really, Todd, please go back. Just an American citizen. I have so many old battery stuff, battery art, videos talking about how we need a revolution. Didn't I, Dr. V? How we need to take the sun and be able to put it in so we can own little batteries like this, which can control a house, which can do it. I've been talking about that for years. Of course we do. We just stayed on all these minerals and something. There's other ways to do it. I said we needed to put big money into research. Of course we didn't do it. Why should we? Why should we take anything with
Yeah,
military
we can certainly
security?
make batteries. That's not the point. It's to have the rare materials, raw materials to
Yeah,
make
but it
batteries.
depends. It may
That's
have
the challenge.
changed. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
The
Different
technology may
stuff.
change that we
Right.
don't need those materials anymore. Who knows? But
Right.
and I'll give Musk credit for helping with the battery industry. He's done a great job of designing new and better batteries. He did a
Look, of
great
course
job
we
with
can
that.
make things. We don't say we can't make things. We just can't make everything. And Canada is North America and Mexico is North America. So what's your problem with making deals and working with everything, right? I mean, we're there. Bingo. I'm with it. And please give us thumbs up. Please tell your friends. Please put us out there whether you agree or not. Please go to justamericancitizen.com and subscribe. Please go into Dr. V. Joe Talks. I'll tell you this, we've had a lot of stuff. We can't make everything. We can't. We can't. A power bank storage facility, it's all there, but it's not, Todd. I'm talking about being able to have a battery. A battery, like we got batteries now. Where is it? I got batteries here somewhere. Here it is. We need batteries like this, these kind of batteries that you can sit there and be charged by the sun, and you got it. And you control incredible power. It's both for defense and for power for housing and stuff. Of course, it is factually correct, sir. I'm sorry. Yes, sir. It's Lurch. We've been there. Lurch. I loved it. The Addams Family. That was Lurch, right? No, I call them. I wasn't calling them batteries, my friend. Then I was calling it energy storage units, ESUs or something. Isn't that what I called them in my videos, Dr. V? So you can say about batteries. I'm just trying to use an example. It's like, hey, it's like talking about a weapon of destruction, a war weapon, and you say it really isn't an automatic. I mean, it kills people real fast. It doesn't matter. And we have 9%. We need this. That's, I don't agree, Jeremiah. Humble breath finishing, a fat bag of batteries there. I don't understand. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I love you, Maverick. I'm there. I was just saying that's what we need. That's what we need to be able to have power. So we're not dependent on others. So we don't need big power groups to run housing. I mean, just think if every house had its own power system and its own battery, you don't need it when a tornado comes through, and if it didn't hit your house, you can keep on rocking, can't you? It's no longer an issue. That's what you need to do. Okay. It's all that stuff. Come on. And I don't know what these guys want. I'm not sure what anybody wants. All I know is I love them. And I appreciate everything everybody's saying. Dr. V, is there anything else you got to say?
No, but, thumbs up to Debbie.
Debbie, I love you, Debbie. No, Jordan, I don't think nuclear power plants are the future, because where are you putting the waste? Where do you put the waste? Nobody knows. It's just not, where's the waste? It's just the waste. Okay? I don't understand. Countries to make the things you talk about exclusives next year. Yeah, but it's not going to be any more, Jeremiah, because we're getting rid of all of our technology. Just lots
I
of
just want to
stuff.
say one thing to local
Good.
things that I think he makes a good point that you want to have a country that's pretty self-sufficient because if things go
I
bad,
agree.
we don't want to have to depend on some other country for uh, N95 mask, for example, or for medicines, things like that. So it's good that we, for our self-defense, that we can make important things here. So good point.
Thanks, Todd. And the technology isn't passing us by, my friend. We know what's going on. It's called politics and reality, and we appreciate you being here. Okay? Stoic, I don't know where I'm not an expert on Temu and Shein packages. I don't buy anything from them. Either way, we love you guys. I'm telling you, you're going to see stuff's going to be getting worse. And when it does, I want you to come back and say, me and Dr. V called it. We love you, Maverick. We love you, local things. Yeah, we're MAGA. We love you. We'll see you Wednesday night at 5. And that's the way it is.
Period.
Gary, and I'll do my album of the week Wednesday. See you, baby. Bye-bye.